Hello, my name is Wim Lievers and welcome to my online trading course. Market analysis, trading strategies 3.0. Yes, it's the third version I've written in the last 5 years. Finally, I managed to translate it in English. And in this first video, I would like to share with you what my vision is on trading, my trading philosophy, and also explain to you what you will find in this course. Yes, I've tried to make it as structured and straightforward as I possibly could. It was not about making it as long and as complicated as possible, but to give you something or to share something with you which has worked for me. Okay, and that's the whole idea. Okay, so let's begin now. Before we begin, if you have any questions whatsoever, you can always contact me through my website, mytradeclass.com. Now, before we begin, as always, I have to start with a disclaimer, which I take very seriously, because people should know that when you trade on margin, there are risks, and it's not that these risks are you can't be overcome, but you have to know about risks, and you have to measure risk, and you have to control risk, and this is something that you can learn. Of course, you can trade futures. Some of you will trade CFDs, forex, even crypto. Now you have to know your product, and you have to know what you're doing. Now, luckily, these days you can try many of these things on demo accounts. I always advise to do that. Why? Because so when you make mistakes, you make them with fake money. So I would absolutely start with that. I also would like to say to you that I am a training provider. I will not trade anybody else's money. I am Belgian, and by law this is forbidden. I've never done it, never will do. I've always traded my own money. Also, what I think is important to share with you is that I have no deals with brokers in order to direct you or anybody else to one or other broker. So I am neutral when it comes to that. I have no deals. I am just here to talk about my trading philosophy. Now, I started in 98, and I have to say it was in America, and in the beginning I was lucky because it was the internet boom, so whatever we bought went up. So after 2 years we'd made a small fortune, really. And so I said, well, this is pretty easy, this trading business. And then 2000 came, and then I had to give back a substantial amount of my winnings. And I actually, with the amount that I still had in my account, because luckily I had taken some out, I actually blew up my account in, I think, 10 weeks. It was a substantial amount, which I lost. And so it was very hard, very difficult. And I learned the hard way that it was something that I would have to learn. And since then, I've, as many of you, I bought the books, I did the courses, I went through a lot of stuff in order to become successful. And it was a challenge, but succeeded then. And I in 2002, I can say that I was a professional trader. And yes, I did very well. I have to say that I stopped also trading for 4 years because I was fed up. Sitting in front of your screens, even if you're making a lot of money, can be very boring. And so I decided to start sharing information with others, because brokers asked me, hey Wim, would you like to go and speak before an audience in Germany or in Holland or in France? And it worked well, and I started to live trade in public, so people could see in real time. And that was new, because for all these years I just sat in my corner, trading, but I couldn't really share it with anyone, because it was not the kind of thing you would share with your family. It was not the kind of thing you would share when you had friends over on the Friday evening and say, hey, today on the NASDAQ I made $7,000. That is not something that comes across well. So when you talk about trading, and it's with people who have the same passion than you have, and in a family environment, that is not always the case. So I was actually quite pleased that I was received so well. It's only been 5-6 years ago, and I guess it took off from there. Now I have to say, I still do this as a hobby. I am not making a huge business out of this, because if I would have to hire 8 or 12 people. It is not at all what I want. I actually already did what I wanted to do. I wanted to be free. Now I'm a free man, so I can speak freely. I have no brokers or partners who I have to please or not please. I will speak to you from the heart, and I will not hold back anything. You of course you can agree or disagree, but it's not that I'm gonna do another course after this one where you say, hey, now you have to pay more because now I'm gonna give you the big secret. No, what you will see here is that stuff that has worked for me, and which I listed in a I think very comprehensible and structured way. I will share a little bit more about that later, but learning is something you do step by step, and you have to know the ABC. Many people think they know it. It's not always true. Also, it's about choices. What are you going to do? Because there's so many things you can do in the markets these days. So it's not that simple. It's deciding what to do, but also deciding what not to do. Having a plan is something that I don't see. It doesn't have to be a 36-page plan. It can be something very small, precise, specific. But you have to know what you're going to do, what your risk profile is, how much you're going to trade, when you're going to trade, what you're going to trade, what the analysis is you're going to do, when you're going to enter, how you're going to exit the markets, what you're going to do when things go wrong, etc., etc. So it's something that will be included in this course, but it's something that I don't see enough. Also, practice is very important, and then of course live trading. I will actually do this during this course. So some topics: introduction, trading philosophy. I'll come to that. Price versus indicators. I'm a strong believer in price analysis. Also market structure, cycles, volume, also the profiles, which are very popular the last few years, and I think for good reasons. They are a great analysis tool, and I will show you how I use it. Trading or combining timeframes, or combining timeframes with movement candles. We'll talk a lot about that, especially for day traders. Money management, one of the key issues, and I'll very openly share my views on that and how I believe you can make money, and the steps you have to go through to come to a decent money management, and the difference between the best money management in the world, if that exists at all, but having a money management system which you can cope with, which you can handle. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, all the strategies. There are many which you can trade under certain circumstances, with, of course, live trading involved. Now, the agenda, of course, we'll go through this, but there's a lot of ground to cover, and I have tried to stay under 100 slides. I really did. It's not that I tried to make us or add as much material as possible. No, everything that is in this I use for something. If I have something and it really doesn't help me in my analysis or in my trading, it's not in here. So whatever is in here, I use. Okay, good. Now, I put this in some videos, introduction, the analysis. I will then, of course, show you in real time some examples of these of my analysis, the strategies, and there are quite a few, and also live trading, which I will show you on different trading platforms. Now, I know this is not on there yet in English. I have few videos at the moment, now that I'm recording this on YouTube, but there are about, I think, 250 or 300 in other languages, and there are quite a few on there where I trade live. This is actually what surprised a lot of people when I started doing this, that actually I wasn't talking about this from a theoretical point of view, but only from a trader's point of view, which I still am. Okay, so I'll just show you so you can see. And then there are appendices, not supplements. Sometimes there's still a mistake in here on the translation, so I'm sorry for that. No, it's appendices, of course. Now, the philosophy, and few things. First of all, I like people to know the trading ABC, understanding how markets really work. What are the players in the market? Why do markets move? How do they move? And believe me, we as day traders who trade with small accounts have very little, I would say, impact on this. We just, follow the waves, but you have to be able to at least understand what is happening. I'm not saying we can foresee the future, we'll come to that, but you have to understand what's going on. Okay, then price movement is the key. Volume is also important, I'll come to that, so it's very often the combination of both, but we do not look at indicators in the beginning. No, there is a lot of information. We can actually read off a naked chart from price and volume. Okay. Now, what does it take to succeed in trading? And I know it sounds a bit strange, maybe, but the analysis and the strategies is 20%. Money management, more important, 30%. So that means that actually it's better to have a bad strategy with good money management than vice versa. So yes, and then of course putting it all together, knowing exactly what you're going to do, having a plan, having the discipline to execute the plan. No plan is perfect, but the execution of the plan must be perfect. So this discipline thing, I'm sure you've all heard it, but I see it with my students for the last 5-6 years. Some people struggle. We all struggle to some point. But so if the analysis, the strategy, the money management is clear in your own mind, and you know how it works and will work and has worked because you have the statistic to back it up, it should give you the mental strength the mental capital to put this through. It is the only way how this can work. And then, of course, last but not least, and the whole training and coaching and follow up, what I do with my students is about life training. It's like riding a bicycle. I come from the country where bicycle is king. Well, you're not going to learn cycling from a book. Let me tell you, it is something you have to get on the bike and pedal. It's the only way. Trading is no different. So, the basic rules. Now, no matter how good your system is, your analysis, the candle, the indicator, volume profile, level, support, no matter how good your analysis or trading strategy is, the outcome of any trade is coincidental. Let's say you have a superb strategy where you win 80% of the time, which I can tell you I have no such strategy, but let's say you have this, well, then still 20% of the trades you will lose. So the outcome can be in your favor, but still remains open. Okay, so you have to accept that. Price is the most important indicator, only indicator. I would say this to make a point. I would say in combination with volume, I would say yes. I think 80-90% of what you should know is in that combination. Okay, now I'll share this with you later. Markets we can't control. I know that we try through every possible way, and I'm here sitting here in my office 30 kilometers from Brussels. I have in that closet on the left of me about 300 books on trading, and yes, I read them all, and well, you know, it is what it is, but where you in a way try to have this guarantee or this look into the future, and I think we should accept that there is no such thing. You can look for the edge, yes, but control, no, and we just have to accept that. So we adapt to the markets and not vice versa. This I just explained to you, the 20-30-50 rule. And then, of course, is our first job is to protect our capital. It's not to make a killing, hit a home run. No, it is to make sure that we have enough money left to trade another day. So the first job is protection of capital. So you're not looking at the upside first, you're looking at the downside. I don't want to be negative, but the reality is you protect the downside. The upside will take care of itself. You just protect the downside. So we're going to, protect the losses and let the profits run. Now, you've heard this 1,000 times. I will show you how you can do this and how you can build this up step by step. So again, I will actually give you a few pointers how you can really do it in practice and how I think most people could learn this. Okay? So, then, this is another one. Plan the trade and trade the plan. Very often, really very often, I have traders and I trade about 3 hours live every day with my students. They can look over my shoulder, see what I do, vice versa, and so on. And it's very strange, but it's sometimes we've agreed on something, on a certain money management or an entry or a signal, and it's very strange. But when the time comes, sometimes people do something completely different. And they say, what's the point? Planning, if you're not going to do what you planned, it makes no sense. So the plan is not always the problem, it's the execution of the plan. So keep the plan simple, but execute it to a T. All right? Good. Now, we keep it simple because it's already difficult enough to execute to perfection a simple plan. So we'll keep it simple. And then the most important strategy of all is to not trade. Not trading or deciding not to enter a market because, for example, conditions aren't favorable is also a strategy. Cash is the position. So something we'll talk about. And last but not least, trading systems, markets, money management, indicators, strategies, whatever. They're not perfect. They can be good. Yeah? They can get very decent results, but they're not perfect. Not even close. So accept this, yeah, and live with it. Now, the business model. This is something that I always want to understand to people first. And I will get through this in detail later. But I'm just going to give you something now, and then we'll talk about it in depth with numbers later when we come to the trading plan. I'll tell you what my business plan is, my business model. When I do 100 trades, 100, I will say that about 75 to 80% of these trades are what I would say neutral trades or trades which will not bring me anything. Meaning that from these 80, there's about 40 that I lose, which I would say a small loss, and about 40 that I win, a small gain. If I add both up, minus the commission, I would say very often I would be small loss. Sometimes break even, sometimes small gain, but when I take away the commission, I would say small loss, but really a small loss. The 20% of the remaining trades are what I call, well, the money-making trades. That's the one where I can make the difference. Now, when I making the difference, I mean that I have a risk reward or a gain, which is minimum 3 times what I risked. So if I risk $100 on the trade, I'll make 300, 500, 800 and more. And that's what makes the difference. I absolutely need trades which make substantially more in order to make money, to pay for the commissions, to pay for the losses, the small losses, but to pay for those, and in the end, have a decent return. The business model where you risk 10 points to make 10 points is something I can't see. I have many students, seen many traders, and I just don't see it, how they make money. It's just, and I will discuss this later in more detail. So understanding that it's only with 20 to 25% of your trades that you will make real money, and therefore, of course, this money management thing is so important. That is something that I would like to share with you and show you in real time. Okay? Good. Now, let's continue this. I've shown this, intersection of analysis, strategy, money management, and mental capital. When the 3 work together, that's where money is made. And then people say, we'll make a little bit of money. And it's very strange, but what I see with people is sometimes there's a click, and then the results go up substantially. So it's often in the beginning it goes down, and there's this break even, and then people there comes this click, and then whoop, it goes up fast. So it's not like people make a little bit, 5% or 10%. No, once the click is there, it goes pretty smooth. Okay. Now, what we do is in the last 5 years is we did some seminars. That was a huge success. Then I started doing online seminars. Created a few tools. I did a lot of day trading with with other people. That is something that people appreciated because they could see in real time that was real. It was not recorded, or it was in real time, and that helped people a lot. Also, it's always easy, after the facts, but doing it in real time is so much more important. And with tools like TeamViewer or Zoom, where you can switch sides, it's a very, very strong feature to learn how to trade. And this is something that I have done, I'm still doing on a daily basis. Now you can check my website for this. Now these trading courses, for me, what is included is this, of course, theory, which is what I'm doing now, these videos to share how I see things. And then there are strategy seminars, there is live trading, there's mentorships and so on. But for that, please check my website or just send me an email. Few examples here of the strategies. Day trading system, or the Super 5 system, which now is available in most trading platforms. And you will see those probably on YouTube very, very soon. Okay, good. Now, this I discussed mentoring and coaching. So that is something that is done a lot, and it's done in the long term. It's done not something that I don't believe in courses over a few days or a few weeks. It is a process, and getting to grips with this course combined with the mentorship, most people will do 9 to 15 months, few hours a week. Let it sink in slowly. So this is very often the mentorship, and live trading is very often a next step. Now, why? And I've been asked several times to translate this course into English, and now finally I said, all right, well, you better do it now or never. And the reason, people push me to do it is because they said, well, look, it is something that we can understand, and it is structured in a way which is something that we feel we could learn and do. It's also very practical and very practice orientated. Universal. Why? Because you can do it on all time frames, all instruments, all brokers or platforms. It's not directed to make you open an account with one or the other broker. It's not like that at all. Also, I look at these things on the medium and long term. Some of the students, which are already very good traders today, even after 3 years, are still with me. We maybe trade 1 hour together every 4 to 6 weeks, but we stay in touch, we share new ideas. It's just a lot of fun. Custom made, what do I mean with that? Every person is different. And what I would hate to do is to force one or other trader to trade exactly like I am. Of course not. It's there are different rhythms, preferences to one or other strategy. I have my favorites, but they might not be yours, and therefore within this process it is very important to go through this step by step. Okay, good. Then price movement, people understanding that we look at how markets really work, price movement, volume, and so on. Now, again, whether you're on NinjaTrader, MT4, MT5, where you're trading with Pro Real-Time, NanoTrader, Sierra Charts, TradingView, whatever, it makes no difference. These methods, strategies, and learning are done on all trading platforms. And I must say, and I'm very pleased with this, around the world. So maybe, okay, good. This will be the agenda for the next video. How to look at price movements and why we prefer price movements to indicators. What is market structure? How to recognize trends and ranges early. How to combine time frames and not to combine time frames. Price and volume profile levels. How do I use them? I don't go into the smallest detail, but it makes common sense to use these things because they have value. Professional price analysis is a 5-step analysis I use just to see, okay, where am I? And all of this will give you a checklist. And this checklist will answer one question. Should I be trading now? Yes or no? If the answer is no, very simple. We use the most important strategy. We don't trade. If the answer is yes, we will wait for a signal from one of the strategies, which I will, of course, discuss later. What will also follow after this video are, of course, exercises where I will show in real time how to do it. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention in this